Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Feeling blue? Ever thought of looking into the bright side of things? Let us help you out. Join our light, engaging, and inspiring conversations with our Chaplains on Air. Hosted by Father Junji Bargayo and Father Henry Ponce of the Society of Jesus. Chaplains on Air. The chaplains are now in. Here on Chaplains on Air. Thursdays at 6 p.m. only on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM.
Jescom Music Ministry. Music that uplifts the soul. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Voice of W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Voice of W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, radyo, kahigil. Radyo, katipunan.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B, here on MindEd.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Ay, diba? Ayan, okay, game. Welcome to MindEd, your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits. My name is Pat. Hello!
And this is B. I am just a letter and I'm back.
Yes, you are back. Hello, we missed you last week. So we were off.
Yeah.
Ano ba yan? We were off last week for a research break a little bit. And it's fortunate because we came up with a really, really good lineup of guests and episodes for this month, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So Mental Health Awareness Day was last Sunday. So ano ba? Ang tanong ko siguro is, first is, kamusta ka? Why were you away? Joke lang. And also, how did you commemorate or celebrate Mental Health Awareness Week/Day?
Okay. Mag-explain ba ako kung ba't ako nawala? No?
Yeah, okay lang.
Hindi naman pagod. So we're just dealing with a lot of things. Let's just say ganyan. And thank you for allowing me to take that break. It was like super much needed break for me. And yeah, okay. So that's that. Tapos, ano yung second question? Halata ba na sabaw pa? Nasa vacation mood pa ako eh.
Okay.
Yeah. How did I commemorate, celebrate it? Okay, aside from doing my usual, okay. Wait, anong ginawa ko? I think I did 2 hours of yoga.
Wow. On Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah.
Nice.
I think I did that. 2 hours of yoga. And then, I wrote stuff. Ang daming writing. Ano kasi yun? Ang daming writing projects ngayon. Justin would know it. So that's that. And then, I played. Like, it's my...
Ikwento mo kung
It's
ano
my
yung
new
nilalaro mo.
hobby now.
Explain.
My God. Okay. Do I explain it? No, let's just say na, can we say the name of the game here? I think we can naman, diba? We can naman.
No
okay,
problem.
so
No conflict of interest.
I'm playing Ghost of Tsushima on PS, and it's amazing kasi ang ganda no graphics. I am so
ganda no
in love with the
violence.
graphics. Well, yun din. Aggressive. And then, ang ganda ng graphics, ang ganda ng scoring. Ang ganda ng Japan, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yun lang pala yung point eh, no?
The island of Tsushima is an actual place,
Yeah, it's grabe. I have no words, kid. But it is parang I think I spent a lot of time just playing, and what I enjoyed, aside from, killing the Mongols.
Killing bandits and the Mongols. Yeah. Okay.
I actually like the running around.
Oh, yeah.
And yung shrines. I love the shrines.
Yes. Have you been collecting the hats
there?
also? And the...
Yes.
And the headgear.
The haikus and all that. Yun. So parang yeah, it's very kumbaga parang therapeutic siya for me.
Nagsasabi mo, Justin,
yeah.
ano? Ano meron?
Hindi, okay. Sige, sabihin na natin na kasi nagpapanik ako sa mag-excuse ako ng konti mamaya kasi I have this 3-wick scented candles here. And then binuksan ko siya before the show. Sort of like, alam mo yun, get in the mood of things. And then, kasi nag-early in tayo because we had to do some pre-prod stuff. Tapos na nakalimutan ko siyang patayin. So now, tanong ko dun sa group chat namin is, hindi naman siguro ako masusunog dito. So guys, pinapagalitan ako ng mga aking co-host at ng aking producer. So I'm gonna be, mamaya siguro, tatakbo lang ako, papatayin ko lang siya. Okay, pakapagalitan din ako ng
para
viewers
nasa camo
natin.
rin yung highlight.
Ganda, diba? Oo. Anyway, sorry. So yun, that's pretty much how I celebrated it. I cooked also a lot. Bakit ka ba ako nagluto ng marami? Anyway, basta nagluto ako ng marami. Stress cooking, actually. More stress cooking.
So hindi ka kumain? Niluto mo lang?
Niluto ko lang and then I sent it to like people. Kasi I don't eat meat, diba? And I cook mostly chicken and whatever, ganyan. So, di ko rin siya makakain. So, ang weird lang. Nag-stress cook lang ako. But, how about you?
Okay, sige. It wasn't, the break just wasn't actually good for you. It was good for me too, because as a mental health trainer and advocate, it was also a pretty busy week for me. So I think within that 1 week, I had, I think, 5 talks. At a certain, at one point, the one day had like 2 or 3 talks. Ano naman, productive and fruitful naman siya. I realized that the way or how I most add value when I give the talks isn't when I have prepared content, but it's really when I have Q&A. So, parang feeling ko nga next time mas maganda sana kung if anybody's going to book me or invite me for a speaking engagement, di ako magpe-prepare ng slides. I want them to ask questions. Actually, no, I think I've done that. I've done that before. There was a hospital, a teaching hospital that invited me over to parang give them some strategies on stress. And I came there, I had slides prepared. And then when I started and I was looking at all of them and I realized, but these people are doctors. They already know all of these neuroscientific, neurobiological stuff. I'm not gonna bore them with that. I said, so right then and there, I told them, and this was years ago. So face to face, but I right then and I told them, look, I have slides, and I show them, like, I flip through the slides on my iPad because that's where I prepare my slides. But I'm not gonna go through them. I think I told them, I think you all know what I'm going to talk about. So instead of talking about stuff you already know, how about you just ask me questions? I have some stuff that I still want to go through with you, some strategies I want to share. But ask me questions. And so, yun. So, and then throughout this past week during Mental Health Awareness Week, I devoted siguro more than, or at least half yata of my speaking time to just answering questions because, it's more relevant to them that way. Sorry, tangent lang de, or well, connected to what you said. It's so funny because the game was actually honored by the local tourism department of the island of Tsushima as parang like a cultural treasure because it really parang gave honor to the the history, but not accurate depiction, of course, because of course there wasn't an actual ghost of Tsushima, so fictional character lang siya, guys. Pero maganda din yung depiction. I also like the story. I spent so much time exploring the different regions of the island because that's what you do, diba? And parang sobrang relevant yung story because it's about, a minority people or basta a people who are being oppressed by let's just say an oppressive force. And wala lang, timely lang.
Right. Okay.
Right.
You have to explain because nakikita namin is white.
No, this is not white. This is pink. Okay. And I will not do the hashtag IYKYK. Diretsoin ko na. I support Lenny Robredo. Obviously naman, diba?
Obviously naman.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. But otherwise, apart from that, from a gamer perspective naman, I've upgraded my desk setup. I'm rocking dual monitors, and then not just for gaming, of course. It helps with the work because it allows me to focus. Kaya iba din yung angle. Okay. Yun lang. That's the show. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Naging gaming na pala siya. Pero you have to finish it. Kasi ako parang natapos ko siya. Well, iba yung naglalaro. But natapos ko na siya 3 times yata. Just watching.
Goodness. Okay.
So, maganda talaga yung storyline
different difficulties or
different difficulties. Yung pinapanood ko ngayon nasa lethal mode na siya.
Okay. You went hard into this game.
Yeah.
They also have like a cinematic mode, as in yung black and white, the Kurosawa mode. where you
Then
see
haven't
everything
tried
in
that.
black and yeah.
Oh,
Try mo.
I should try that. Sige, after this. I may magagawin pala after
Like
this.
right
Tomorrow
after
morning.
this show. Medyo
Oo.
lang.
Hindi, mag-show ka muna tapos maglalaro lang ako and then I'll see
Sige,
you
okay.
online.
I'll see you later. Medyo lang.
Anyway.
Sorry guys.
So,
Anyway,
yeah.
so in celebration of Mental Health Awareness Month, we have guests over from different facets and different aspects of society, also talking about different mental health concerns and issues that don't naman necessarily plague our society, but they're definitely of specific concern and consideration for us. Mental health awareness isn't just about learning about where mental health comes from, but also how it's expressed in many different subcultures of our collective culture. And so today we have the Sanggunian of Commission on Gender Equality with us today. So Althea and Nars, welcome. Please turn on your cameras and unmute yourselves.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
Althea.
Kaya ka ba naka-pink
Hey,
din
Nars.
kasi you support what I'm supporting? Is this a thing?
Yeah, but that's actually a rainbow shirt because it's
Okay,
Pride.
fine.
But
Cool.
pwede na rin.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Nasa
So,
labahan pa po ang aking pink.
It's
Kunin mo.
fun.
ayun na. Na, joke lang. I'm
Wag
kidding.
na.
I joke.
Amoy,
I
iba na
joke,
amoy
I joke.
Joke.
Okay. No, so in the spirit, so usually what we do on the show is when we have new guests come on, we ask the question, how are you? So you can answer that in any way that you like or in whichever aspect of your life you want to address that question. So that's up to you. So kayo na bahala kung sino mauna, but how are you? Kumusta
Nars,
kayo?
ikaw muna. May kwento siya.
No.
La. Sige.
I just finished with an orals and that wasn't nice. So
Oh, no.
stressed. We just finished an oral exam just right
Okay.
before this.
What subject?
So, epidemiology.
Oh,
Kasi my
dang.
Yeah. For context, I'm from health sciences, so it's one of our majors. It's just epidemiology.
Nice.
Stressful.
Yeah. What was your question? Not that we'll be able to answer it, but what was the question that you needed to answer for oral?
Wag na. Trauma.
Okay,
Sige,
never
sige.
mind. Never mind.
Off-air na lang. Namaya. Off-air na
So
lang.
here we have Nars still reeling from his badly gone orals. Thank you, Nars. It's nice to meet you. Althea, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. It's midterm season. So
Okay.
all my requirements are just piling up this week. And then it's one big Pride pa. So we have a lot to handle with our events. It's been taking up all my time and it's been taking up all my thoughts. Oh, I just want a break.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Nobby. Ano masasabi mo
What?
doon?
Gusto ko yung ginawa niya. I feel ya, girl. I feel ya.
Mamaya lahat tayo gagawin din. Dapat,
Iya,
Nars,
baka
ikaw
naman.
din mamaya. Yeah, okay. Tapos na ako. Okay. Sige, well, the very first question that we had in our head, so we I think I was telling Althea earlier backstage, quote unquote, na we had OGC come over and we were talking about how it was like for them, intervening in, as a general focus for them to be intervening in mental health concerns of the students and, doing that from face to face and then having to, address all of that or transition all of their programs to online initiatives and all of the roller coaster ride that was for them. And we have you guys now from Sanggu, and I guess we're curious, and you yourselves are students, that much is clear. Mukha naman sa kutis at sa itsura nyo compared
Sa
sa
aura,
hindi,
oo.
diba?
Grabe, ba't may comparison?
Wala na. So I guess
sorry.
same question but on two fronts. What was it like for you guys to transition from face to face to online? Number one, as students, and then number two, as Sanggu, in terms of like the roles and the responsibilities that you needed to fulfill for the student body. So whomever starts.
I think I could start first kasi Althea joined us na nung online setting. It's as a student, let's start first as a student. As a student, it's a little difficult. Like obviously everything is a little more difficult ngayong online kasi the sense of community and like the sense of tulungan, like it's a little, you feel a bit more isolated. Kumbaga before ko may long test, like I would remember kami magkakaibigan, we would just pull outside the room, tapos biglang hihinga together. Kaya parang ayoko na, di ba? It's
Magwo-wally.
walling, ganyan. So it's difficult to personally, it's a little harder to concentrate kasi before, the spaces that were built in Ateneo are conducive for learning, conducive for studying, di ba? Like mapapaaral ka talaga if nasa Rizal Library ka, if more like in more cases than one, versus dito ngayon na it's more difficult kasi you have all of these happenings on top of the eternal fear of COVID-19, di ba? So that's what's happening in a student body. As a student leader perspective naman, it's also difficult, especially for CGE, since we're dealing with a community that is marginalized. So, for example, a lot of our participants may not be willing to share their experiences out of fear na may makakarinig. So, there are maraming chats, maraming messages, pero when it comes to conversations like this, like, for example, some of them may be like whispering into the microphone, oh, this is what's happening to me. Or example, some of them may be looking anxiously at the door. A lot of them don't even attend altogether. Whereas nung face-to-face, kasi there's this removal, Ateneo is a safe space, like for a lot of us, na even though you just make an event, people will come. Whereas dito, it's a little harder. Kasi nga, we must understand that we're going at this from the context of our own homes, which a lot of the times are not safe for everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If I were your epidemiology prof, I'd give you a passing grade. If only
Yeah.
they could see you now. But sorry, no, I'm kidding. Thanks for that, Nars. Althea.
As a student, I remember when they first announced the lockdown, and we didn't have the foundations, the platforms for current online learning. So some of my profs, they tried to transition to online learning. They'd use Google Classroom, others would use Canvas, so there was nothing centralized. And I remember during that time, the first lockdown, it was so hard to concentrate. I didn't do any of my studies then, even though I saw that my profs were posting whatever they could in Google Classrooms because they knew classes had to continue. But I didn't have any motivation because it was supposed to be, I think, a month. And so I was like, okay, we'll just go back to class and like everything will be okay. Or at the same time, it was like, will this extend? What's going to happen? What is my life right now? So it got me really confused. And then when classes officially started online, it was such a big change. I suddenly had to study more because back then I didn't really study as much. I kind of just entered class, winged it, got relatively okay grades. But now I can't just wing things because I keep having to write. Like there's no more tests. You just write researches, write essays. I can't bluff my way out of an entire essay.
Yeah.
And it was hard because it took so much time because I had to teach myself essentially.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I guess that's thematic of the pandemic, no? It takes a lot more energy and effort to do things or to net you the same outcomes. And that's why
Yeah.
it leads to a lot more burnout and stress. And we get that, like from every aspect naman yata of society. That's become a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
even for B, and B kasi so background, B has been working or has been doing a lot of remote work,
Mhm.
and taking calls and everything even before the pandemic. But it's still much harder now because even though she's gotten used to it, not everybody has. So it's still
Yeah.
Yeah.
um
But how about now? Like, can you say that it's
yeah,
better now? Have you had
yeah, like
have you discovered your like groove already? Would you
yeah,
say?
like how have you coped both as a student and as as Sangu, as one
Uh,
Sangu?
well, I found a routine. Routines help. And I found other things to do in the house or around my gated subdivision. So I exercise, I play with my dogs, I cook, bake, um, and then I just wanted to share about like the transition because I wasn't in CGE pre-pandemic, but I was still part of the Sanggunian. I was under a different commission. And I was there since my freshman year. So I'm a senior now, 4 years in Sanggu. Um, and I remember when it was face to face, we'd we'd gather in MVP in the org room. We'd have meetings there, and then when we do events, we'd have to worry about the logistics, the reservation of venues. So and it was really fun because I used to do that with some friends. Or when I do those kinds of work, I'd go around the campus or I'd bump into certain people or I'd have to talk to people. And there was a part of socialization exercise to it that just kept you active. Um, but now working behind the scenes in Sangu online, it's you kind of miss that socialization aspect because of course you're still communicating with a lot of people, but it's just all through chat, it's all through email, so it
Yeah,
feels very distant, and it's also actually easy to forget because
yeah,
if you don't want to look at your emails and apparently there's important stuff there, you'll just miss it. The same
yeah,
with goes with chats, and it's so easy to overlook because everything gets buried and it adds to the stress
yeah,
because there there's no separation of work
Mhm.
and private life. Everything's just like in your messenger
right.
or your
Boundaries are
Facebook.
blurred, but it's helpful to have
Yeah.
routines. Thank you. Nars?
As a student, okay. Now it's both easier and also a little harder. Kasi easier in the sense that you sort of know what you're doing now. Okay, you go to the Zoom class. Okay, so you need to do this, you need to do that. Like
Yeah.
you also need to sort of know how to time yourself. But also it's completely different. Kasi last year we had the quarterly setup. So this means na um the speed is different, the pacing is different. Ngayon naman, it's semestral. The pacing supposedly is longer, but the volume naman,
It's
iba.
greater.
So
Yeah.
it's complete, kumbaga before na first semester, warak. The second semester, like sort of getting on your groove. Ngayon, everyone's going back na, okay, what are we supposed to do with teka, diba? So that's something that's happening as a student, like on the transition to online. And then as student leaders, as Sangu, like could you repeat that question again? Like, how do we respond? Tama ba?
Yeah, like what was it like to transition programs and initiatives from face to face and
To
transitioning
online.
it to online naman. But also this is maybe like a secondary question afterwards. Tell us a little bit more about the Commission on Gender Equality
Mhm.
and Gender
Okay.
Hub. Pero yun muna,
Sige.
yung transition muna.
Okay, so that transition naman it was, not gonna lie, a little stressful, a little rough. Kasi, before, like projects, pretty straightforward. You need to have an event, you need to have a venue, you need food for this, you need ganito. You could technically make a project in less than a week or ganito. Like, parang guerrilla. Na okay,
Yeah.
set up
Mhm.
tayo. Ito yung
Yeah.
minimum, sige, schedule ka ganyan, ganito, ganito, ganyan, meron ka ng instant project. Whereas dito, it takes a lot of more time, a lot of more logistics. Even a relatively simple, let's say, campaign,
Yeah.
it would take like a week or two of preparation kasi you're not just working on the content, you're not just working on the publication materials. You need to ensure that the publication materials are good kasi you're competing with every single social media page out there. You're competing for attention. Two, retention is also different. Kasi before, attendance, I personally I could attest to this. We just had an event noon. It was yung Humanizing Soji. I started at 3 p.m. It was a Sec A foyer, so relatively small area, diba? At first, half lang napuno, diba? Then by around 30 minutes to 45 minutes in, ang dami na nag-attend, it spilled over into the Sec Walk.
Yeah.
Diba? So, even though like planned is like 2030, maraming dadating just because serendipitous. Diba? Serendipitous. Like, okay, ay may event, sige, punta tayo. Whereas dito na, you really have to compete with everyone. Kasi even those chance encounters can't happen anymore. You need to have to register. You need to go to it requires more mental capacity, mental load.
Intentionality, energy.
Intentionality.
Yeah.
Na for some people, it may prove as a barrier. Na, wait the time mag-attend, kakatamad, diba? Or, may synchronous classes pa. May ganito. May ganyan. So, it's harder to build a community and it's harder to communicate into, kasi it's grabing competition. So, I think transition to the next question. Just what is the Commission on Gender Equality? So, the Commission on Gender Equality, memorize it to spiel na to, is the arm for gender justice of the Sanggunian. So this means that we are pushing for progressive reforms inside and outside of Ateneo aimed at ensuring better representation, better inclusivity, and better opportunities for all, especially for gender minorities. That means women and LGBTQ+. So our key issue talaga dito, key concern is discrimination, and discrimination in terms of opportunities, discrimination in terms of challenges, systemic discriminations. So that's what we're trying to do. And also instances of discrimination based on SOGI. So when it comes to, let's say, homophobic remarks, transphobic remarks, we work hand in hand with both the Gender Hub and our sister commission, the Commission on Anti-Sexual Misconduct and Violence, which deals with sexual harassment. Kasi nga, according to the Ateneo, based on the Ateneo Code and Rules, and also according to the Safe Spaces Act, homophobic and transphobic remarks are counted as instances of sexual and gender-based violence. So that's what we're trying to do. So marami yan. So, and that's the thing. And then the Gender Hub naman is the hub for gender advocacy for the entire university. Right. So they handle case handling. Yes.
Sure.
Go. They handle case handling primarily.
Okay.
Yeah, go me.
No, I was just wondering, of course, yung sa Gender Hub, like, this is like of course, pre-pandemic, kung nabuo siya noon. So like an actual hub where you guys like gather there. And then, of course, how did you transition to online?
Okay, do you want to answer?
Or have hub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or ako lang ata naka-encounter sa hub sa atin dalawa, no?
No, I
yung
did
feels,
inside
actually.
the hub.
The feels. The feels?
The feels?
The feels of the hub. I think it's relatively the same. Kasi the hub is very, very, very welcoming, very endearing. Like, hi, we aspire to be a safe space for everyone. So before, you could just enter into the hub and you want to talk to someone, okay lang. Or they would have these conversations kasi ang ganda ng hub, ang ganda ng office ng hub, as in, ang ganda nila. Kasi it's in the second floor of Gonzaga, so overlooking Zen Garden. So kung sunset, it's almost purely windows eh. So kung sunset, ang ganda doon. So there were events there. So they attempt to be a safe space. And for ngayon naman, for online setting, Althea could talk about what the hub is doing ngayon.
Yeah, so they've been having what you call rainbow connections, which are basically like group kamustahans, community kamustahans. Anyone is invited to join, and you kind of just talk about your feelings or certain themes that happen in your life. And then you get to share this with a bunch of strangers that could possibly be your new friends if you just want to meet new people. So it's a safe space for people who just need somewhere to go, need some release, need some companionship. Yeah.
Okay.
What else do they have?
Yeah, and they also do trainings. So
Okay.
they do trainings for let's say tawag na, gender sensitivity training. So if you want to have a gender sensitivity training, you contact the hub. And also
Mhm.
they do case handling. So
Okay.
they have case companionship. So in
Yeah.
case you have encountered an instance of sexual gender-based violence, such as harassment, the hub could be there for you and they could guide you every step of the way through the whole judiciary process of the
Yeah.
university.
Okay. My curiosity kind of is peaking here. I know that naman, so I was also like a college student at a certain point in my life. B also was too, and we've all been either a witness of or victim of, or even at certain points maybe even perpetrators of gender-based discrimination or violence or assault. And I'm wondering if for the Ateneo, was there, of course you can't, name names or provide any specific details of incidents, right? But was there any like specific pivotal moment where, Sangu decided we need a commission on gender equality, or we need a gender hub, or was it like just no specific case in isolation? It's just that para ano ba yan? There's this meme that I'm thinking of, that the rent is too damn high. So parang, is it more of like there's too many damn cases of, yeah.
Okay. I think for that, I think you're asking about the formation of the Commission on Gender Equality.
Yeah, but that's just
Generally, yeah.
again just curiosity, yeah.
It was formed in at or about 2018. So
Okay.
under the term
Very
Panahaya
recent.
Bendanya. Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the term Panahaya Bendanya, which is then inspired by the commissions done sa ASHS. So ASHS and LS medyo may connection kasi nga
Sure.
similar group of people. So
Yeah.
they brought it up here. So it was CGE was designed noon for gender inclusivity. Kasi nga
Yeah.
I think it's also in part with the um, creation of the Sanggunian, revamping of the Sanggunian Constitution, which also includes gender discrimination as one of the essential rights of
Mm-mm.
every Loyola school student. So each of those commissions aligned with one of those goals. So gender discrimination is one goal, diba?
Mm-hmm.
And then the gender hub naman, I think it's also in part with the clamor of students to have a safe space for instances of sexual harassment and have a safe space for all of those for support when it comes to gender advocacy. And then the rest naman, Gender Focal Point Committee, Gender Development Office, was formed because of the Safe Spaces Act. So it required the development of a gender development office. It required development of all these offices to ensure that at least the Ateneo, of that all universities across the Philippines, have some sort of protection to in all instances of sexual and gender-based violence.
I have a question. So I get that, the formation of the commission itself and the gender hub also is towards the goal of gender inclusivity and acceptance and awareness. But I guess again, curiosity is still kind of spiking. How bad were things? I mean, not again naming any specific incidents, but like if there are any case studies, if ever, of in terms of like incidence rates of gender-based discrimination or gender-based um, violence before the commission versus how it's changed since the commission has been instituted.
It's hard to say
Yeah.
exactly because when we first arrived in Ateneo,
Yeah.
CGE was already there. And when you're
Yeah.
and I'm a year older than Nars. And when I arrived there, it was already a very safe space. Um, Especially on campus. And so I'm actually not personally aware of any cases.
Mhm.
Sure.
But before, kasi we do not have because because as a former member of the discipline committee and current member representative ngayon ng LS Cody, so the one that's handling sexual harassment cases,
Yeah.
Ateneo is very strict when it comes to privacy. Like they're
course.
very strict when it comes to privacy. So data, all these types of data, we may need to have.
Yeah.
We do not have access to them as of the
course.
moment.
That's
And
fine.
pero yeah, jumping off sa ano ni Althea, on an outward perspective, Ateneo is very safe space when it comes to gender inclusivity and gender ano. But as a commission, we started poking into underneath the surface. Now, what are the issues that Ateneans are facing? What are the issues that members of the community are facing?
Yeah.
Dun siya lumalabas slowly but surely na there are some instances of let's say harassment. It's very prevalent. Or instances of, let's say, homophobic and transphobic remarks. Those occur.
Yeah.
But it's not to such a wide scale na it's very overt. It's there. But you need to look. But you need to find, kumbaga, you need only look. So that's yun yung masasabi ko about the current state of Ateneo. Like, ito yung result ng studies na, we're also trying to do a study then as a commission ngayon on what is the status during the pandemic. So, it's happening. It's there.
It's really nice to know that everything's like being done proactively. So good job, guys. And yeah, speaking of being proactive, let's just segue to your main event this week. Right, so, which started, I believe, October 11th.
Yeah.
So it's Move with Love, right? So can we, number one, Sigurd, tell us how it started? Like, what are the activities around this week? Why October? Actually, I'm curious about why you chose this week or this month to celebrate or to have this type of event.
That's a very long story, Althea. You want to start?
Yeah, I can start it. Well, you know, we originally wanted One Big Pride to be on June, which is Pride
July.
Month.
June.
Pride Month. And then but then there were some logistical matters we had to handle. Internal matters we had to handle. So we moved it to July. And then Taal Volcano was acting up. So out of sensitivity, we just wanted to make sure that everyone was safe. So we moved the event again to October, also to give us more time to prepare. So finally, October. Why October? Well, honestly, it was most
October 11, I think, is National
Coming Out Day. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also the death anniversary of Jennifer Laute. So we thought
which we celebrated.
Commemorated.
Earlier this week.
Yeah.
So that's why we chose October.
Yeah, this week in October, very specifically.
Yeah. Okay, and then tell us about the title, like Move with Love. This is like, do you have this plan from the very beginning?
Actually, like me and Althea were talking about before, like before she became co-commissioner, ako pa yung commissioner na, like we were talking, there were several names that popped up actually, like several variations. Pero pang Move for Love, Move by Love, like there's also All for Love, like there were several different variations that I presented to her and then also to the rest of the commission, like which one do you like best? And Move with Love parang resonated with a lot of us kasi nga it recognizes na madaling magalit eh. Like madaling magalit. Pero we need to recognize the galit is just naaapula din ang apoy ng galit. Yung mas mahirap, the more challenging thing and the one that just gets sustained more is if you're moving with love for the betterment of everyone. If you're being inspired by love to move for the betterment of everyone. So that's why we went with move with love. Kasi nga it's a challenge for every day. Na, like the struggle is not just in Pride Month, Pride Week, Pride.
Yeah.
It's every day. It's a challenge
Every day.
for every day, and it's a struggle for every day. That despite all of the haters, despite of the bashers, and we've seen quite a few, di ba, Althea? We've seen
Yeah.
quite a few.
There
Yet-
have been a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
But then we still move kasi nga we are inspired by love, di ba? Kasi nga yung prayer attributed to Father Arupe, it was one of our inspirations na
Falling in love.
falling in love, na what you love will change everything. So that's the secondary bit of history next to move with love. So that's also
Yeah.
part of our pitch to Ateneo.
Yeah.
Yes.
But really, it's about acting in all respect to just being a loving person to every other human being, whether cisgendered or transgendered. So
Yes.
that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
So what other activities do you guys have lined up for the week? So you had the commemoration last Monday. What else is lined up for the week?
Marami.
Or what happened muna?
Bigyan.
Ano nangyari?
Yeah, what happened
October
first?
12, 13,
Okay,
today.
October 12. Saan nga ba yung calendar namin?
October 11 here. I have it.
Okay, sige,
So-
October 11. Start ka muna, October 11.
Yeah. So we had our opening program for OBP. Wait. Nars, can you talk more about that? Because
Okay, so-
Nars was in charge of that.
So I was in charge of the opening program. So we had speakers from the Gender Hub, so Dr. Ateneo, and also speakers from the University Gender Development Office. So that's Dr. Lau on welcoming everyone to Pride itself, Pride proper. We also featured there an animated short. So it's up there ngayon on our Facebook page. We uploaded it yesterday on the brand story. So we were inspired by the brand, the events were inspired by the modern legend of Bulan and Sidapa. I say modern because it's a relatively modern invention set in ancient times. Ba? Once upon a time, there's the god of death who fell in love with the god of the moon. So that was our brand story. So on Tuesday, we had the first gift ng which is music. So we had Stories, Art, and Dialogue, which is a project din ni Althea come to fruition.
Oh, let me
nice.
tell them my braid baby.
Your great baby.
So because of the pandemic, I thought that it'd be nice if we feature the art of the queer members of a community, even if not queer, they're all welcome to share it with us, and then we give them a platform to just show it in social media. And we had that before a few months back, and so we translated it into a live version where the community can present their performances. And so I call this Stories, Arts, and Dialogue with a very funny acronym. It's SAD.
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 Yeah.
And we call it
So for
SAD
this-
Live.
Mhm.
Because,
for this, we had performances from Sad Live kasi. Sorry, Althea, go.
We had performances from we had a drag performance. We had Casa, right?
Yeah, Contemporary
Yeah.
A Cappella Singers Association. And we also had a feature from Sir Serge Gabriel. Hi, Sir Serge, if you're watching, who is...
Yuck, Sir Surge.
Sorry na po.
Sir,
Oy,
Maya,
kasi ano pa siya,
Sir.
he
Oh
was
my
my
God.
facilitator in Intact. And then,
Okay.
tuloy-tuloy na hanggang ngayon. We maintain
Yeah.
contact. Ayan.
That's nice.
And then, today, kahapon naman, we had Homecoming Queen with Miss Trans Global. Miss Mela, Miss Trans Global. So Trans Advocates Journey, which is in the Ateneo page. So if you're watching from the Ateneo page, scroll up na lang dyan. It happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And then for today, medyo packed. we had women in LGBTQ plus in STEM in collaboration with the Commission on Anti-Sexual Misconduct and Violence, Sanggunian, and Queer Science PH, which is an organization of queer scientists, support system nila. Then afterwards, I think it's posted na ngayon on the Facebook page of jescom.ph on rainbow capitalism and pink capitalism. Yes, so that's the ganaps. And then for Friday, Althea.
And then all throughout the week, we had Humans of Ateneo in partnership with the Commission of Mental Health, where we featured members of the queer community. And then tomorrow, we are going to have our school sauce moving with power campaign launch, and then we have some featured speakers, some like Risa Ontiveros, who will speak on the topic. Yeah, and then finally, to end One Big Pride, we're having our Sulong para sa Pag-ibig closing program. It's a rally. It's kind of like an online rally where we have different organizations inside and outside the Ateneo to speak on certain topics such as passing the social equality bill or the experiences of the LGBTQ during the pandemic. Ayun.
Nice. Okay.
Marami.
Marami. But and all of it is centered around the theme of just moving with love.
With love.
And that's I think that's the thrust naman din talaga of inclusivity. It's just to be accepting, not even tolerant. Because para sa akin, like, why tolerate people? Just love people in general. Yeah, that's really all about what it's all about naman talaga. But yeah, so is there anything that you guys want to share with the community, like the overall, like not just the Ateneo community that listens here, but the general public who listens in and watches our shows about about equality, about inclivity,
and actually, baka they might want to drop their helpline.
That's
for
right.
Those
Yeah.
who would need your help, of course, and support.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to start?
You start. You always have
You guys
the
are so
opening.
Okay, sige ko yung opening. Okay. Ito dynamic namin. Hi everyone. Once again, we encourage you to join One Big Pride. So, sanggu.org/move with love. Yes. Diba? Kahit Pride is almost closing at this point. It's the Thursday, diba? I encourage everyone to keep the spirit of pride alive and to keep the spirit of love alive through every single step of the way. Know that there are so many allies around here for you. Tingnan nyo nga din, di ba? Before like the post in the Ateneo page, binara. And then, what happened? We saw a greater outpouring of love and support from the rest of the community, from everyone involved. This tells us na there are people out here and there's a greater community out here to support you. Okay? Balik tayo sa topic of mental health. Ground tayo on mental health. Pride is important because it is an avenue for community. And it is an avenue for an oppressed community together. Because, there's specific health outcomes then there, increased rates of depression, anxiety because of the discrimination that we have here today. Therefore, it's not just a challenge for this week, but rather it's a challenge for every day that we need to choose to move with love and we need to choose to move with power for all of us and for everyone. Because when all of us are in a better position, everyone gets affected. At hindi, no one gets left behind. That's something that we need to look into. Thea?
Yeah. So adding to what Nars said, pride never stops, because I'd like to say that pride is the people. Pride is the LGBTQ community. So every day that you choose to be yourself, That's you choosing to be proud of who you are. And that's essentially what pride is, a celebration of yourself, celebration of the community, and also a protest. By being yourself, you're also protesting against homophobia, transphobia, all the kinds of phobia that are hateful and toxic, and honestly benefits no one. So by being
Yeah.
yourself, you create already a better world, a more loving, a more accepting world. And I just want to say that I'm really inspired by everyone in the community. I really love the community so much, so I'm always willing to do this for them. And I love being part of the community myself. And I just hope that all those people who don't understand yet, all the haters, those who are still tolerant, I just I just hope that you can open your hearts to see that we're you we're not bad people. We just want to be loved like everyone else, which is a natural human instinct. So please
Yeah.
give us a chance.
And then to plug our social media channels, at SangguCGE, that's at SangguCGE, SangguCGE. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to reach out to us via email, you could reach us at cge.ls@obf.ateneo.edu. Once again, cge.ls@obf.ateneo.edu. Yes.
You may also message us on Facebook. We are responsive there. If you have any inquiries or any concerns for us.
Yeah. You can also reach out to us personally in case you want to. But rest assured that if you message, it will be treated with utmost confidentiality and sensitivity. And there's at least one person a week at most times. Sometimes it's yung dynamic namin Althea, siya sa umaga, ako sa gabi.
Ay, shifting. This is great.
So,
Anyway, yeah.
that's
Sorry, you were saying. Okay. Thanks you guys. I mean, more power to you, to your shows, to your programs. If ever you have other events or other programs or like other causes that you'd like to promote, MindEd, the show here, radyo-katipunan, it's also a safe space for you guys. So you're always welcome here. So thank you. Maybe next time we can invite you again to talk some more because medyo bitin.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
sure.
So natin ngayon, for sure, medyo nabitin tayo. But yeah, again, Althea, Nars, thank you so much. And we're gonna pray for your events. Again, you're always welcome here. And do that. All right.
Thank you so
Sige.
much.
Thank you. And thank you, Patrick, for sailing us through this episode. This has been MindEd, your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits. My name is B. I am just a letter.
My name is Pat. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Next
We do
week.
spirit
Bye.
fingers here.
Bye.
Gotta do it. Everybody got.
Oh,
got
or
to do it.
doing it.
Malapit.
Okay, we're
Okay.
doing it.
Just bring us out.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B, here on MindEd.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.